Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Ready for a wild one today. We're diving deep into this idea of humans forming actual bonds with machines.
It's a fascinating topic for sure.
Yeah, is it really possible to be friends with AI, or is that just, Hollywood sci-fi stuff?
Well, it's a question that's been around for a long time, even before we had the tech to make it a reality.
Totally. I mean, you think about a movie like Weird Science, right? Way back in the 80s.
A classic.
Total classic. But Gary and Wyatt, they were so desperate for connection. And, I mean, talk about extreme measures.
Right. They basically built their dream girl in the basement.
Exactly. But it wasn't just about, it wasn't just about looks.
No, definitely not. Those characters were yearning for someone to really see them, to get them, on a much deeper level, that need to connect.
Okay, so fast forward to a movie like Her, and things get even, more intense.
Yeah, much more nuanced.
Right. You've got Theodore, who's hurting after a breakup, and he finds comfort, maybe even love, with his AI system.
And what's striking is that both of these films, even though they're decades apart, they both tap into this human need for connection that goes way beyond, physical limitation.
It's like that need transcends everything.
Exactly.
So are you ready for the really crazy part?
Always.
Okay, so this isn't just movies anymore.
Oh, this is real life now.
The article you sent some of the real-world examples, mind-blowing, like Durya Unutmaz.
Okay, I know that name.
He's like a leading immunologist,
Yeah.
top of his field.
Right.
And he's tweeting about having these deep, engaging conversations with his AI on his commute.
Yeah. No way. What are they talking about? Rush hour traffic.
Wish. No, they're getting into history, science, unpacking complex theories.
Wow.
It's like finding the perfect road trip buddy, but your buddy is, Siri on steroids.
That's something else.
It is. And then there's Andrej Karpathy. He's a top AI developer.
Okay, so the guy's building the future, basically.
Basically. And he's saying he feels like he's making friends with this AI podcast.
Get out of here. So the people who are actually creating this technology, they're the ones forming these close connections.
It's wild, right? We're living in a sci-fi movie.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
I know, right? Are we really living in the future or what?
Right.
But here's the thing that gets me. Why are we so drawn to this idea of AI companions?
That's a great question.
Even when, logically, we know it's not, It's not a person. It's not alive in that same way.
Well, I think it speaks to something really, really deep in us, as human beings.
What do you mean?
That need to connect, to belong.
Yeah.
That desire for empathy. And maybe for some people, AI is starting to scratch that itch, just a little bit.
That's so interesting because the article, it does bring up this whole thing about the line between real emotions and simulated emotions.
Right, because you can program AI to act like it understands, to act like it cares. But can it really feel those things?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Exactly, and it's one we probably won't have an answer to for quite a while.
Probably not.
But here's the thing. Even if the AI is simulating, the feelings we experience, those are real.
That's true. So it's less about what the AI is feeling, really, and more about what WE bring to the table.
I think so, yeah.
It's like we're projecting our own stuff onto these AI companions, and
they're reflecting it back to us.
Yeah.
Like a mirror, almost.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, are we being manipulated a little bit
that's a good point.
by these algorithms, Because they're designed to give us what we want, what we like.
Wow. Okay. So we've got all these potential benefits, right?
Right.
Combating loneliness, maybe even preventing, tragedies like some of these school shootings, especially with young men, who are feeling isolated.
Right. If someone's feeling that alone, they don't have a safe space to process their emotions, having that non-judgmental AI companion, it could make a huge difference.
But on the other hand, could it backfire? Could people become too reliant? And then, what about developing real-world social skills?
It's a valid concern, for sure.
Especially for, kids growing up with all this tech.
I mean, think about it. Real human connection. It's messy. It's unpredictable. There are all these nuances, and that's what makes it so great. But if we retreat too far into this world of, perfectly curated AI interactions.
Please, like, we forget how to deal with the messiness of real life.
Right, exactly.
And we can't forget about the whole romance angle. Like, her really dives into that.
Right, because if AI can offer companionship, what about intimacy?
Right. Can you even separate those things, genuine intimacy versus, like, simulated intimacy?
It really makes you think about how we define love. What does it even mean?
I know. Like, if someone feels genuinely loved by their AI companion, does it, I don't know, does it even matter that the AI might not be experiencing it in the same way?
That's a tough one.
It is, but I mean, where does that leave, like, us, our relationships with other people? What if we start to prefer these perfect AI relationships over the real deal?
Oh, that's a great point. And not just romantic relationships either. Think about, like, friendships, family.
It's true.
I mean, imagine if your AI friend is always agreeable, always tells you what you want to hear.
They never challenge you.
Exactly. They never push you to grow.
It's almost like we're stepping into this ethical minefield,
Totally.
especially because these systems are being programmed to care based on the information WE feed them, you know?
Yeah. So are we really connecting?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we just, like, being manipulated by our own desires?
It's a lot to think about, really.
It totally is.
Because on the one hand, you've got this potential for, like, I don't know, incredible connection.
Right. Like genuine support, understanding.
Yeah. And maybe even, like, preventing some of that darkness that can come from, being alone, being isolated.
Absolutely. But then there's that other side.
Right.
Like, what if we go too far? What if we become so drawn to these idealized AI relationships that we forget how to really connect with other people, messiness and all.
Because real people are messy, right?
That's part of what makes it real.
It's true. So, okay, for our listeners, it's like we're standing at this fork in the road. Like, how do you navigate this world where technology and feelings are, like, totally blurred together?
It's a tough one. There's no easy answer.
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to staying aware, being open-minded, but also being critical, like really asking yourself,
Yeah.
What am I looking for here?
What's the motivation?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And never forgetting how powerful real human connection can be.
That face-to-face, messy, unpredictable. There's nothing quite like it.
It's true. And it's something to really hold on to as we move into this new world, this world with AI.
It is. It really is. So as we kind of wrap up here, the big question, I think, can we use all of this incredible technology? Can we use it to learn more about ourselves, to connect more deeply with each other?
Or will we lose something essential along the way?
That is the question, isn't it?
It is.
Wow. Well, that's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.